everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Control and my struggle to regain it. This is Giant Q, and let's just hop into it. Now, I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing anymore at this point. Sadly, both in this and in general. But that's a big part of life. You're supposed to be. Travel costs. Visited the following Nevada accommodations: Desert Sun Inn, Big Sky Motel, Starlight Motel, In and Out, Aztec Court, Sleepy Bear Motel, Silver Spurs Ranch, El Gato Blanco Inn, A Plus Lodge. Accommodations $831.29, meals $714.84, gasoline $295.12, minibar $313.61. Do wonder if a motel called the Ocean View is going to be found in a landlocked state, but hey, I guess I'm not paid to think, right? For the record, I again request that you give us the budget to get 2 rooms each night. Agent Rowley and myself are very tired of sleeping in the same room. See you on the road, Agent L. Hines. The boys in research said performing rituals may help identify any places of power. Drinking those little whiskeys is my ritual. But yeah, I've thought about it a lot, and I've been trying to take life way too seriously at this point. Like, I haven't even reached the big 2-0 yet. I'm talking about an hour away. But I still act like an adult. I've never really had much fun. Like, this is the best part of fun I've had. You know, when I had my girlfriend, it was again like that same sense of this is what I'm supposed to be doing at this time. Stable area notice. Please be aware, due to recent fluctuations in the nearest control point, this area stability has been downgraded to yellow. Reference chart: green is stable, yellow is a low possibility of unanticipated building shifts, orange is a high likelihood, and red is frequent. But I'm sure that a lot of the, if anyone ends up watching these at any time, that if you're the oldest child, or you're in a family that consists of more than one child, you will notice that the eldest child usually growing up at a faster rate almost. Like, you're supposed to be a good example. You're supposed to make sure that stuff is taken care of. You're supposed to make sure that, like, if your parents aren't there, you're supposed to be the one doing it. Singing fish. Miss Governor, I called the police, but they never came to my house. I got a problem, and you gotta send folk to fix it. Got my wife, one of them singing fish on the wall. It's not a real fish. It sings when you hit a button, but it's got the devil in it. It flies around at night and sings devil songs. Says lots of cuss words. Excuse me? The devil got in my house because of the fish, and you gotta come handle it. My wife is real upset. When can you come? Sincerely, Wayne Burr. load efficiency. Kill enemies in the executive sector. Executive pyramid base must be protected. Correct. Strategic target, mold hosts, spin maneuvers, charge mode. Oh, so this entire... Oh! I didn't notice that. If you look at the top, or like center left, it says sector executive. So this entire area is executive sector. I thought central intelligence or central executive was only executive. Oh, I feel like a big dumb. And I know I keep getting sidetracked, but like if you ask anyone in my family, it always seems like I have been an adult since I was way too young to be. Does that make sense to any of you? I get the I started cooking for myself. The only thing I really relied on my mom and dad for was getting me the stuff that I needed to survive, and then I would take it from there. But I would never trade my family in for anything. Even though they might, as everyone can attest to this, every family has its down. But without family, you don't really got much else now, do we? I mean, yes, you can have friends. Yes, you can have school. Yes, you can have a lover or a friend or a girlfriend or something. But just the way that we've evolved, we all need a center. We all need that core, that basic like collection of people, the people that we're closest to, the people that'll always have our backs. And I can attest to this even through my family because I grew up in a military household. And my mom grew up in a military household. My dad was the one who was in the Army. He was in the Army when I was about 8. And he stayed in it for about a year. And I don't fault him for anything. I mean, he needed to do what he needed to do, and it's understandable. But at that point, I was helping my mom raise my first sister. And not wanting to be like a drain, I guess, of resources or a drain of anything, really. I just didn't want to be a problem. I wanted to make it easier on my family, so I usually stayed with friends during that time, and when I wasn't, I was making sure my mom could get sleep. I was taking care of, like at that point, my 2-year-old sister. I was making sure that she was getting fed. I was making sure that she was happy, healthy, being played, like, that she was getting the proper everything that she needed. And it's not a difficult thing to do. People always want to sit here and act as if like raising a child is the end of the world, or it's a travesty, or that you can't do it at a young age. And I have to disagree. I believe the closer you are to your child's age, the better it is for them in some circumstances. Because my dad had me when he was 18 years old. And him and I are the closest we could ever be. He even said it himself, we are not father-son. We are younger brother, older brother, and he said it was weird when he had to do like a punishment or something because it felt like an older brother just being a dickhead towards the younger one. But I mean, he made me the man I am today. Like I said, I'm not even 20 yet. I have basically a full-time job. I rent my own house. I have this gaming setup that I do on the side. I like to think I'm better than most people at my age, you know, because most people my age are still living with their parents. They have no clue what to do, and it's just sad to see people like that. It really is, and that's why I hang around people like my friend Garrett, who's about a year younger than me. He's only 19. Well, actually, we're the same age, and yes, he still lives with his parents, but he's got a full-time job. He's going to school. He has his own car. He makes sure to pay his own bills. He does everything himself. He is basically a grown-up who's just waiting for a chance to stretch his wings. And it sickens me when people are just like, oh, I can't wait to move out of my parents' house. I can't wait to just cut them out of my life. And it's just this, that, the other thing. Like, oh, I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to grow up. And when all those parents and teachers and adults were telling us, yes, you can. You need to wait. You should wait. Just hold on to that for just a little bit longer. They were right. Because my family moved across the country when I was in my junior year of high school. I've been without my mom and dad for about 3 years. And let me tell you, it sucks. Not being able to see those types of faces, not being able to... It's almost like you have to watch your back constantly for yourself. You have no one else to do it for you. Don't get me wrong, I have great friends. Like, I have great friends. I have great people around me. It's just, you can never get that same familial bond from someone else, and you can never get that same type of trust from someone else. And it's just a real stressful environment. But, sorry about that, I just went off on a little tangent, but back to the game, the funny ha-has. Havana, Altered World Event number 48, details. The Bureau of Medical Staff personally evaluated the injured embassy personnel when they arrived back in the country. While the victims reported cognitive issues, dizziness, and fatigue, further testing by Bureau medics found intense cell damage similar to that of radiation exposure. And we heard about this one earlier as we, through the video, they said that they were, through the head of comms when he was being recorded. They were talking about this, and they said it was like a supersonic gun or something. The communications department disseminated a story of foreign powers using like a supersonic weapon on the embassy staff, resulting in various health issues that required the embassy to be evacuated. The story successfully took hold, gaining brief international attention. This is kind of crazy because it, oh, what is it? The, Mandela effect, I believe is what it's called. That's what I'm getting a big response, or not a big response, but a big, like flashing bulb. Like the bell is being rung for that. And for those of you who don't know what the Mandela effect is, in name of history. Because because it is believed that he became the president, or a very big, or at least a very big, what's it called? Political influence. I believe it was South Africa. But like people remember him being a large political influence in South Africa. I believe I said this already, but I'm just kind of making sure that I follow that same train of thought. But at the same time, a lot of people say that they remember hearing that he had died in prison rather than being released. And it's just, I'm kind of getting that type of feel from this because the way this kind of like shifts, and the way that it's kind of like the paranatural and the para-utilitarian, kind of like the altered world events that would allow for something like a multitude of people to be in a certain given time, even though there should only be one. Interesting to see people's takes on it. And like, don't get me wrong, like I'm still having a file. Hold on. The Federal Bureau of Control. Pay attention, Alberto. This is the last time I'm explaining this. Internal lockdowns are manually triggered events that lock one or all of the sectors by restricting use of the sector elevator, effectively locking staff in their sector until the emergency is handled. They can only be lifted via the directional override and maintenance once the director is satisfied that the situation is under control. External lockdowns are a bigger deal. Nothing in or out of the whole building. It's only triggered by a code red containment breach, based on some complicated system that security and research slapped together. It can only be lifted once A, the threat has been neutralized, and B, a high-level clearance individual gives the system the all-clear. The process is not the same as the directorial override, so stop saying so in documentation. I know it's confusing as hell. And I've told Darling 100 times to change it, but they're adamant and it stays the way that it is. Honestly, I don't think they even know how to change it at this point. Let's just make sure our staff understand how this mess all works, okay? Marshall. Yeah, so it's honestly like a little bit odd that I'm gonna die. Yeah. I was trying to get that file, but it didn't let me, but that seems like an odd detail to throw in there, that for an external lockdown you'd need a high level clearance individual. Not necessarily the director. Because as you see, I'm the director in this game now, because the service weapon, the object of power that is given to the next director, imprinted on me, and I am now able to use it to its full potential. But just because I'm the director doesn't mean I have a high level of clearance. While people who are like the leaders of communications, the leaders of departments, the heads, would have that type of thing. So Trench was right. I need to find out a way to do this. Maybe I'm not supposed to be here yet. I'll keep this place in mind. I might try it more off camera, I'm not sure. Hold on real quick. Sorry about that. I didn't want to break people's eardrums. I got something caught in my throat. What was I saying? It was, oh, like the Mandela effect, yeah. And I know that I know I might be reading into this just a touch too much. But that's kind of the fun in this, like, you know, I talk about stuff that I know personally that this reminds me of. That's what every good game should do, in a sense. Like, it should make you kind of...
Time to work. Meet me in the maintenance.
Actually, I'm gonna stay here, see if I can kill a few more enemies before I have to bounce. But I'm sure I'm making a lot of sense to all of you. This game is just very thought-provoking, or maybe I'm just, like I said, maybe I'm just reading way too much into it. But to me personally, it's kind of, it's cool. It's got mystery. It makes you question. It's got that basic, like, plot, like, oh, maybe it was a conspiracy, and you're trying to figure out, as the new director, you're trying to figure out who it was. Book club for Penny. Hello, avid readers. The Bureau Book Brunch, or the Bureau Book Bunch, will convene at the usual spot in the corner table of the cafeteria at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Currently discussing Unless You by J.D. Brooks. Everyone should get their reviews to me by Monday before lunch so I can generate some conversation starters before the meeting. Jeez, dude, I could not stand a workplace like this. That's good. Stop.
Hey man, what
That was a show shown straight from the seventh circle of hell, and trust me, by God, I do not want to watch it again or any other sequel. Anyone. 0 out of 10 would never watch it again. Wait, how do I know when I get a new ability? Countermeasures. Finish both of these. Executive incursion, headshot tactics. Kill enemies in the executive sector with headshots. Definitely. Pierce mode. Mold. And I'm just gonna quick travel back to Central Executive. But like, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird and I'm someone who doesn't know just when to shut up. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just someone who likes to sit here and run his mouth about stuff that...
Like I said before, the janitor is a friendly face.
But like, I don't know. Personally, I always do thinking like this all the time whenever I play any type of video game. Like if you saw me, if I could do like a playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2 for the original Xbox, which I literally have sitting in my room less than 20 feet away from me. That would be awesome if I could play through, and I think I have the next game that I'm going to try and capture, which just went on sale.
The maintenance sector is the janitor domain. If I can find Ahti here, he can help me reach the override. Maybe it was you who got me into the oldest house with the lockdown on. Maybe it was Ahti. It felt like he made the elevator appear that took me to Trench's office. Is Ahti guiding me too?
Can I make this jump? No. I can only have to yep. Damn. But I will say, this game is phenomenal so far. I am really enjoying myself with it. Janitor's office, ventilation, sector elevator. Can I go on it? No. Okay. Well, shit.
The directorial override is right there, in the control room. How do we get there?
The true question is, do we want to get in there? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems like there's a hiss barrier in there, so there'll probably be shielded enemies as well. Can I do stealth? That was pretty well. Are there still more enemies here? Is that why I'm not able to jump to this yet? Oh, I have to. This is a really interesting take on something like this. Black Rock Quarry. What is that sign? I'll have to. Don't try it, man. I have the high ground. At the high ground. Okay, so that got rid of the barrier. So my biggest question right now is, what are the... can this just manifest people that it already has under its control and just like kind of drop it into a combat situation? does it kind of require the bodies around it? And that is what allows for the manifestation of the hiss, which in turn weakens it for every member lost.
What's down that way?
Very good question. Yeah, you're right. What is down that way? But the janitor's up ahead. Investigate the strange little break room. I don't like the red flag. I don't want to watch it again.
Step into the FBC, there's lots to do, there's lots to me, but don't touch, and don't stream much. Let's join the Treasure Keys. Let's join the Treasure Keys.
Hey, man! What are you drawing? I'm drawing a dog!
I'm drawing the pyramid.
The what?
The pyramid.
What's a pyramid?
The Black Pyramid. It's in the astral plane.
Airplane?
Astral plane. It's big, white, and empty. Or is it? It's a weird, crazy alien dimension. The white goes on forever. You can get lost in all that white and never find your way back home.
I miss my home.
So the astral plane is what the pyramid takes me into for like the combat tutorials. So let's switch this back to the pyramid. Cleanse the merry-go-round, fourth object of power. And I love how this said, like, nowhere is my location.
Ugh. This place makes me nauseous.
Great, the walls seem to be moving with me.
An object of power. How do you think it got down here? A carousel horse.
I just want the power.
Why is kid stuff always so creepy?
The horse choo-choo. Oh, so it takes energy to evade hero stuff. Oh, shite.
Can't see the hiss keep up with me now.
Shifting positions, that's kind of neat. Wait, so by the game's definition, would that be an AWE since this took me to the astral plane? Oh, jeez, man, that's... Whoa. Dodge effect. I like that. Again, need clearance level 2. This game is just fascinating to me. I got a threshold revenant. So that means I can upgrade my my something. This is the janitor's. That was weird. The picture was him just standing there.
Well done. You got the job. It's place for congratulations. Yippee, saatana. It happened in the last drop. I truly need an assistant.
Funny thing is, I've been a janitor. I'm more at home in that role than as the director. Only Ati here seems to see that.
Yeah, hi, Ati. Look, we need to get the lockdown lifted, otherwise I can't get to the other sectors. Can you help me get to the override?
Yes, easy peasy. It's just around the corner. But first, we need to get you working. Very small, couple of hours job.
Something tells me it's gonna be more than that.
Yeah. You think there's a dog buried in this? I can tell you are not yesterday's Krause's son. That's why you'll make a great assistant. Very well. I'll hit the facts on the table.
This guy isn't human.
Mä kyllä sanon perkele suoraan, että this house has a vermin problem. A bad one. They've already messed up the cooling pumps. And the power generators of a power plant, perkele. And the pensioner inside is starting to feel the band around his head tighten. The situation needs to be fixed before the plant blows up. And we all disappear like a fart in Sahara.
Trying my best to keep up with this. Fix the coolant pumps and the power generators, otherwise the power plant will blow?
But don't you worry. I've left you clear instructions. You'll catch the end of the thread before I go to my vacation. The work's on the task board here. You can do later, when you have time.
Vacation? Right.
Yes, no one's gonna cancel my holiday or seat's gonna rattle. But don't worry at all. You'll take care of it and soon this crisis gonna be last winter's snow. You better go now, so you don't have to run with your head as your third leg. The door in the back leads to the plant.
The door in the back. That's great. Thank you, Ati.
Clearance level 2. Find a way to fit the NSC power plant. What a mess. Burn the trash.
Yep.
Burn the trash.
Burn the trash. Throw it in the fire. Burn it all. Burn it into a rain.
Reindeer, not a moose. What does that even mean? Oh, the merry-go-round horse. Object to power 16 KE. Containment procedure. The object should be kept a confined space when unbound. Description: para-utility. A fiberglass horse once used as a seat to the merry-go-round or for a merry-go-round ride. The pole is still connected to the object. The object is capable of moving short distances at high speeds. This can be quite dangerous when blanks its path. When you get into its path. The object is currently bound by redacted or classified. Background: the object was discovered at the site of an abandoned amusement park. Local blank reported that the rides would move on their own and that they would be chased out. When these rumors reached the Bureau, agents were dispatched to investigate. 3 local blank were found dead at the scene. The object attacked agent blank by blank. Agents invoked Formula C5 to blank the object long enough to blank. So I'm guessing that's to subdue and then apprehend.
India, not into the
Oh my god, dude. Threshold remnant. Cool. I'm gonna go to my missions. I'm gonna set that one as my
it's time for coffee breaks.
then I'll open this up.
Okay, so what happens again if that thing blows up?
Power. Explosion. Too much. Director's duty. Keep the lights on.
Northmoor was director before me. I never wanted his job. I never wanted power. I purposefully avoided it, didn't trust it, didn't want to rely on it. Northmoor was all about power. A man like an explosion, hungry for authority, for order, for more, until it was too much. I had to find a solution in the end. Contain the situation. Northmoor never liked me, but he went along with it, to his credit. He didn't really have a choice. I suppose at the end of the day, a director's most basic duty is to keep the lights on. Here's to you, Northmoor. There were no prime candidates waiting in the wings, but I was there. Had been the whole time, keeping my head down, working my ass off. I had nothing to lose. I picked up the gun almost on a dare.
So Trench didn't want to be the director. And that guy kind of sounds a bit like me. I never want to be the main center of attention. Erish escaped object of power. An object of power escaped the Panopticon a couple weeks ago, and they want everyone to keep an eye out for it. So if anyone sees a merry-go-round horse zipping around the sector, alert me immediately. Do not try to contain it on your own. Definitely don't bind it to yourself. Alright. Well, this is probably where I'm going to cut it for right now. So as everyone knows, this is Giant Q, wishing you all a very merry-go-roundabout day, and that I hope that you can dash through it and make it to the end in one piece. I'll get you guys in the next one. See ya.